Hey, everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here, recording on the eve of WrestleMania. WrestleMania SmackDown has concluded. So now, guys, the road to WrestleMania is over. It's here. It's here, everybody. And the closing moments of SmackDown are going to be talked about, especially leading into Sunday, because as we know, WrestleMania weekend, there are weird crowds. There are a bunch of weird people. They're going to do the opposite of what you expect. And the main event angle of this SmackDown was Cody Rhodes and John Cena meeting one last time. And it was a great promo face-off. John Cena pretty much taking Cody to task, barking at the fans, basically saying, wrestling retirements are kind of like shams and whatever. And so Cody Rhodes, interestingly enough, for the first time since he returned to WWE, interestingly enough, 3 years ago, he was booed absolutely relentlessly by this Vegas crowd, which was about 15, 16, 17,000 people. That was surprising, very surprising given, the love but it's almost like, these weird crowds happen around WrestleMania. So John Cena did a really good job of and I don't know if it's a really good job. It's just like, it's John Cena. Everybody knows this is the end. They're getting a bit nostalgic. He cooked Cody on the mic. And Cody didn't even get a chance to talk. So immediately when he picks up the microphone, he can't even get a word out because people are booing him. And then he proceeds to, for 90 seconds, just absolutely freaking undress John Cena with one of the greatest rebuttal promos I've ever heard in my entire life. He was talking about Sting at Starrcade 97. I think that's a podcast joke. That's a real inside joke. Stack of dime his neck. Just a bunch of really just great zingers and one-liners in a span of 90 seconds, and immediately the crowd turned around and cheered him. It was unbelievable. If you have any doubts that Cody Rhodes is QB1 and is the guy in WWE, no matter what happens on Sunday, and I think he's going to lose, but I don't think that affects Cody's standing in WWE. Cody is the guy. Cody is a once-in-a-generation type talent. A once-in-a-generation performer that has evolved himself. He left. He came back. He is now the guy. And how AEW started a company with this guy's vision and let him go 3 years in is beyond me. AEW allowing Cody Rhodes and not coming to terms with that guy who helped you start that company. It's no coincidence that AEW is in the space that they are in right now because Cody Rhodes isn't there anymore. Cody Rhodes pretty much, he's admitted he made some mistakes, like, the whole, world title, losing that and not being able to challenge for it, getting multiple TNT title shots, the whole American Dream thing that he did with Anthony Ogogo, which was weird. There was just a bunch of weird stuff that he did in AEW, but he never really got a chance to fully realize what he was. And so he got the reset. He was able to go back to WWE. And literally from the minute he got there, he has been the most universally beloved person in that company. And he has easily taken on the reins of being the top guy and being the baby face of all baby faces. And throughout the course of this feud, he has had to really carry and do a lot of heavy lifting with John Cena not there. And in the face of being just mercifully booed, mercilessly, I can't even talk with these words. Sometimes I get so hyped up, but he was relentlessly being booed by the Las Vegas crowd at T-Mobile Arena. And in a span of 90 seconds, this guy put together one of the great promos that you will ever see. Go watch it again, watch it several times over, because that was a work of art and a masterclass in how to handle a crowd when these are these situations. And this is why I had a huge problem with Charlotte Flair a couple weeks ago. And, she's kind of owned up to it, how it got out of control, but this has kind of been her MO. It's like, you have to be able, especially when you're in control. And she was a heel in this situation, but this is Cody Rhodes as a babyface getting absolutely just booed relentlessly out of the building. I was shocked at hearing this reaction. I was like, what the hell happened? And then I realized, oh yeah, it's WrestleMania weekend. People are weird. International fans, they want to do something weird, make it an interesting environment. I mean, you guys remember Hulk Hogan, like, yeah, even as deplorable of a human being as he is now, back at WrestleMania 18, one of the great matches of all time, everybody loved him because he was Hulk Hogan. And, like as a performer, like everybody wanted to see the Hulkster do crazy shit. And that match with The Rock is talked about for days. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen here with this match at WrestleMania, but for Cody Rhodes to turn that crowd around in that quick a fashion was just special type of talent. And for AEW to just let that get away and just let that go out the door, it's like I said, and then you look and you also basically look at the night one main event. How do you let CM Punk go out the door? Because you have petty grievances and stuff, and you have other people barbing at him, and you side with, other people. It's just like, it's easy to see why AEW is in a certain spot that they are, and WWE's been able to create two compelling main events over the course of WrestleMania in Las Vegas, and they're both ex AEW guys, basically. And it's really insane just when you talk about Cody Rhodes and just, what he's been able to do since he made his return at WrestleMania 38. He tore his tricep, or he tore his pec, and then, he makes the heroic comeback. He wins 2 Royal Rumbles. This is going to be his 4th main event in 3 years. 4th main event in 3 years. A guy who was thought of as nothing and was tossed aside 10 years ago and had to leave to go start another company, reboot himself, and just, has completely done it. And it's just, you see the full formula come together to become the babyface of all babyfaces. This is, like I said, this was a tremendous performance. And given like the lack of resources that this feud had from Elimination Chamber to now, they've done as good a job as they can to make this thing fucking interesting going into Sunday. I think John Cena will win, because I think that there's a lot more money in a heel John Cena just, trying to ruin wrestling. There's a lot more in that than there is Cody Rhodes, continuing to reign as a WWE champion. Some people think that this has been a bad run. Listen, the solo stuff was, kind of underwhelming, but the matches were fine. Like Cody really hasn't had a bad match since he's been champion. He really hasn't. He hasn't. The Kevin Owens stuff was great. Obviously when he won the title from Roman was great. So like all the Kevin Owens matches that he had, I think there was 3 of those. I mean, yeah, the solo stuff was a little bit weird, and, you got mixed up in that, but, tag matches with Roman Reigns, and, it like I said, it was fine. And it was for what it was, like, Cody's done a really great job. And I think it needs to be commended before we get into WrestleMania. And just like I said, I just don't know how you could be watching this if you're Tony Khan and not be wondering to yourself what could have been. Because this guy is now the guy in all of professional wrestling, not just WWE. He is the guy. Whether you want to admit it or not, all you bloodline marks who just keep trying to discredit what this guy has been able to do, in 90 seconds, you guys got to understand how hard that is to do in that moment, with 17,000 people just booing their, screaming at the top of their lungs, booing you to the nth degree, to turn that around in 90 seconds against John fucking Cena. That is some spectacular work. So we'll see what happens. WrestleMania is almost here. Thanks so much for watching. We'll have live watch-alongs each night. Come hang with us. We'll have a lot of fun. Carly, my sister in the Peanut Gallery, will be having fun as well. Maybe we'll have some adult beverages. We'll see. Anyway, I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.